Hello, friends and family, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of The Greatest Experience. So, on today's episode, we are going to be talking a little bit about transforming negative thoughts into positive thoughts. So, if we want to live a better life, we have to first start with the thoughts that we're thinking. A lot of the thoughts that we typically think are ones that we normally have, and they were typically negative. So, for my example, a lot of the thoughts that I was having was typically negative, and it was a lot of listening to it again and thinking about them. They're like super silly. Like when you're, it's like okay, when you think of something positive and it's completely different than thinking negatively with, like, which is what most of us were used to. So it's like a huge change. Now, when you're used to something positive, thinking about something negative it's really silly. It's not something that you're used to because you're always used to you know, thinking of something that you're used to. So when you think of something that's opposite of what you're used to, it's definitely something different. So when we first start out, we have to start slowly thinking about positive things. So, for example, one thing that I would do is just start to slowly appreciate a specific thing that I was aware of. So maybe you're eating chicken noodle soup, for example, right? Chicken noodle soup, nice, silly, harmless, to an extent. Um, and you're like, oh man, this chicken noodle soup, so it's so good. You start to appreciate it, and the more that you appreciate it, the more that you can actually savor and enjoy it. Whereas if you're in a negative state of mind and you're thinking negative thoughts, if you were to have that chicken noodle soup, like, oh man, I hate chicken noodle soup, or like, oh, like fuck you, chicken, something so silly. And it's like, you would have that experience of, a negative experience of you eating chicken noodle soup. The same thing is there. It's the chicken noodle soup, positive or negative or completely neutral. So if you view something as neutral, then there's no positive or negative energy attached. It just is. The chicken noodle soup just exists. And whatever you choose to do in relationship to it is your experience of it. So, super simple. I choose to have a positive experience about this chicken noodle soup. I'm going to make it positive. Or I'm going to choose to have a negative experience about this chicken noodle soup, and it's going to be a negative one. So, us being the creators of our lives, we have an amazing opportunity to make this experience positive or negative. So that is a slow thing, or that is a simple thing that we can do, right? Just starts with the chicken noodle soup. Then we'll slowly start doing that more often, right? Like if you're used to always like grumpy all the time and thinking about a positive thing, it's like a completely different perspective that you're viewing your life through. Because if you're used to living life through a negative lens, you're only going to see negative things, like life is so hard and all these other things that, us as humans we're used to. So when we switch into a more positive, loving perspective, it changes our lens. Even if for a moment, you're changing your view to be positive. It's the same thing. Your perception, your perspective, your expectation changes. Now it's positive. You just made this experience, which is completely neutral, into a positive one. Just because you had an expectation of making it positive. Because you, the creator, made it whatever you wanted it to be. And that's the lovely part about you having this choice, this opportunity at every moment to make it something really positive. So it starts with very slow things. We grew up thinking a lot of negative things about specific things. So maybe a lot of stereotypes, right? Relating to different colors and shades of the same skin, for example. It's skin, just different melanin, and we associate specific traits with different shades of the melanin. So lighter melanin is typically this, that, and that. Darker melanin, this, that, and that. Middle, difference of the eyes, everything. Difference of the body. We have these stereotypes about people that are not even ours. It's what people shoved onto us, now making us believe the same thing that these other people did. And these other people didn't even think correctly. Most of these people didn't even know what to think. They were just taking in their surroundings and making it their reality. So if I were to tell you, let's say Asian people are the nicest and smartest people throughout the whole world. And if I keep on telling you that every single day, every single hour, every single minute, you're going to believe that, right? Doesn't matter what type of Asian, just the whole continent. Amazing. And it's just great, right? Now, if I say the same thing about every single lighter melanin Caucasian person, all these people are amazing, smart, attractive, loving people. Every single day, you're going to believe that. If you see people who are brown, kind of like the same color that I have, super loving, super smart, very friendly, very charismatic, super attractive if you get them at the right light, and I tell you that every single day, you're going to start to believe that. Same thing with people of dark melanin. Oh, we save the best for last. Ooh, spicy. So if I tell you something positive about the different shades of melanin every single day, you're going to start to believe that. Just because of what you expect and because of what's being programmed into you. So might as well start changing your program and your perception as often as you can and make every single thing that you want to a positive experience, because if you want to live life in its greatness, you deserve to make it a positive experience, because it's your birthright to choose whatever you want to experience. It's super easy. So skin color, that's a huge thing, right? The size of our weight, height, it's huge, right? We have had so many people tell us these things about, events or people, and labeling it as good or bad. What if we were to take all of the negative experiences or negative attachments to certain activities or substances or any noun or verb, whatever, and you make all of it a positive experience? Your life is now going to be filled with positive experiences. Every single thing that you are going to do from now on forward will all be a positive experience, because you, the positive person that you are going to choose to make every single thing positive. Other people are going to try to say, no, that's bad, you shouldn't do that. They do not matter at this point. Your perception of reality is the most important thing. You living your best life is the most important thing. It's only what you want to do. Your perception, your belief, your experience, your anticipation, your expectation of what you believe something is going to be is now the most important thing. Not what other people told you about this specific thing. There's so many things. Weed, for example. The society told us that was bad. And if you do it, you're like, wait, no, this isn't bad. but maybe sometimes we attach guilt or shame to a specific substance or a specific thing. Like this pen, totally neutral, right? It's either something positive or negative. You can think of it negative as like, oh, this is a weapon to kill people. Or this is a positive tool that I can use to express myself in any way that I choose, right? And it's just an expression of who I am, right? Who I am, my authentic person, is using this thing to make an experience. It's not positive or negative, it's neutral. If I choose to view it in a neutral light, it is. If I choose to view it as positive, it also is. I have the decision to make it neutral or positive or negative. Neutral, positive, negative, whatever you want. That's the wonderful part about opportunities with everything in life. It's just an opportunity. Your whole life can be a positive experience, a negative experience, or a neutral experience. It doesn't matter what you choose, as long as you do whatever you want. You're free to do whichever. And that's the beauty about free will, is your will can change at any point because of the freedom you have. So simple, so easy, so loving. And this universe gives you that option to do that. It's saying, hey, please choose whatever you want to do. Whatever, any kind of thing you want to do, even if it's a little bit saucy, a little bit dicey, a little bit spicy. It does not matter what you choose to do. Anything. Anywhere where your mind decides to go, you can do that thing, and it could be positive, negative, or neutral. You have that loving, sweet option. Porn is a huge thing. Oh, gosh. I grew up Catholic, and there was so much negativity and shame and guilt attached to that thing. So one of the big things that I wanted to work on in this life was making all these negative things positive. So what if this wasn't a bad thing? What if it was positive? What if I deterred so strongly from what religion, society, and family told me and made it a positive thing? What if I made this positive? Well, now because I made it positive, anyone else who chooses to go under that specific thing and do that specific thing has an option to view it positive instead of negative. This is a very lovely cycle that humans do. They do something that they're very curious about and that they really have the urge to do, and then after they're done with it, they feel guilt. That negative emotion keeps them trapped in thinking that that specific thing that they do, watching porn and having a lovely time, is somehow a bad thing. They're just curious. We as humans are curious, and we choose to view something as positive, negative, or neutral. So that thing, if you go under it with the right lens and make it a positive experience, you're now giving every single opportunity to anyone else who does the same thing and make it a positive experience. Same thing with people who are white or black or brown. You can view black people as negative or positive, brown people as negative or positive, white people as negative or positive, or neutral, neutral, and neutral. You chose to do something completely different than what society told you. And because you kept on doing that, you're saying, you know what? Not all black people are scary. Not all brown people are rapists. Not all white people are the nose, whatever, that thing. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that. Not everyone's like that. What if every single person was loving? What if you chose to view every single person as loving? What if you decide to view every single fat person as negative, right? Or every single skinny person as positive, right? But even those people have positive and negative traits about them. What if you viewed them all as positive? You know what I mean? What if they were just people doing the best with what they have, and you just appreciate them for who they are? Would that be so insane? What if you viewed every single thing as positive? Every single mishap that you have the opportunity to view it as positive. Every single argument, right? Or you getting a broken bone. What if you choose to view it as a positive, right? Let's say you're running, you break something, right? Now you have time to finally rest, right? So like now you're allowing yourself a space to relax. What if you spending time with your friends instead of it being like, oh man, I have to do something else, right? Oh, I shouldn't be hanging out with friends. Then you feel guilty. What if you make that a positive experience? You're just enjoying time with your friends. So you're able to now change every single thing and make it a positive experience. It doesn't matter what you do in this life. It just matters how you do it. You can do anything in this world, anything, as long as you have a positive or neutral relationship to it. Whatever you do is going to respond very well because of your expectation of this specific thing that you are doing. It is more loving. It is much more compassionate because you're adding that compassion that you are in this thing that you are doing. Doesn't matter what it is. You can be sucking toes, or you can be, I don't know, something super crazy like decapitating a roly-poly. But if you view it as positive and negative, it's good or bad. But what if you view everything as positive or neutral? Then whatever you're doing, it changes completely. If you view something as positive, everything is for the greater. Hello, friends. Thank you for your patience. My phone died, and now it is alive again. So, let's see. Where were we? We were talking about how if we expect something to change, it will. Or if we think about a positive experience or a positive opportunity to whatever is happening, that's what it's going to be. So, for example, like my phone died. I could have been upsetty spaghetti, or I could have been like, it's okay, this happens. I'm going to keep on going. And here I am. So we can use these type of experiences to make us switch our reality into what we want it to be. And the more that we continually, have these positive experiences, that's what we're going to have. Our life is going to be a continuation of a positive experience. And we're transitioning our whole life just to be this positive experience. There's so much beauty and in thinking differently with the same thing that you've done before and making it positive. If we want our kids to live in a better life, we must change our now reality so it can be positive, so that they can live positive life as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching another episode of The Greatest Experience. It was a pleasure and an honor just to be here with you guys. And just remember, just slowly focus on one positive thing. And the more that you focus on one positive thing and you change everything else to be positive, your whole life is just going to be a positive experience. And you're able to add more positivity into everything and everyone around you, because you're going to choose to see everyone with that same positive light. So everyone's going to want to be around you just because you are a positive person. Thank you again, and have a lovely rest of your evening. Bye-bye.